Good morning, gentlemen. Today I'll touch on a topic which is often ignored, not taken cognizance of. It is something to do with the mission, the capabilities, the resources at hand of the unit commander, the unit personnel, be it a rifle company, soldiers constituting a platoon going in for a tactical operation, be it the special operation forces, a team sent out to conduct a mission, or even be it a reconnaissance and surveillance team enabled with an intelligence element, a counter-int element, going in for deep RSTA activities, reconnaissance, surveillance, target acquisition, and maybe battle damage assessment. The point here, what I want to say is, before we embark on a mission, or for that point, before we even decide on a mission, we must take into account what are our capabilities, what are our limitations, our constraints, under what constraints we are operating, what are the environmental factors. I mean, there is a lot of things to consider, but we can distill all these and extract two important, very, very important points which must be taken into consideration before we undertake any mission. That is, an exact definition of the needs or the requirements of the commander and the capabilities at hand. Mission-need-capabilities analysis is extremely important for the successful outcome of any operation. I'll cite an example to make things clear. Supposing we have a reconnaissance and surveillance mission, RNS mission, deep into enemy territory. Now, what do we have in hand? In India, I don't think so. We use we frequently use tracked vehicles like the Humvee. The Americans use armored vehicles to move inside enemy territory for I don't think so. And whatever it is, say for example, we do use, supposing we have a tracked vehicle, with gun crew and everything, with gun crew, and then the elements who will get down will, dismount and go for reconnaissance surveillance activities, and then there's a security element also. This security element which will be present in this particular mission, we might not have it because generally in India we generally go for a passive reconnaissance surveillance. The point is not engaging the enemy, avoiding the enemy. Stealth is a factor. Just observe and come back. The Americans have embarked on a new mission, on a new concept, that is fighting for information. What they do is they move deep in, and if they have to fight to gain the information, suppose they have to get very close to the objective, and if they get very close to the objective, they can observe and they collect more information, than that possible from a distant. Now, point is, if they move damn close, it could be possible that they can engage the enemy. And here they are prepared to engage the enemy, fight the enemy, get the damn information, come back. And that is something which I should say is a really good feat. But point is, we are not yet prepared in the Indian environment, in the Indian military environment, to go in for such endeavors. So I won't touch on that right now. But of course, in my created platoons, the organic incapability, I'm always stressing for fighting for information. We'll touch on that later in another discourse. Here what I want to say is this, that I was focusing on the needs, the mission needs and the capabilities analysis part. Now this particular team which goes in for recce and surveillance, be it tracked vehicle, or be it on foot, or whatever it is, or maybe they are inserted into the area by an aerial insertion. And then there are ingress and egress points. So there's a careful selection of the ingress point, the egress point, and the priorities handed, the prioritized requirements handed over to them by the commander, that I want this and this information, and come back safely. Forget the fighting part, fighting for intelligence, or the combat capability that I'll touch later in another discourse. What I want to say is here that when the team moves in, the team should take stock of the situation very, very carefully. That, okay, fine, we have, supposing it's a 6-member team, and a 6-member team, supposing there is a tracked vehicle moving inside, because sometimes you just cannot go on foot. Deep. If you're going for deep RST activities, you cannot manage to go on foot. You have to keep a tracked vehicle with you. So supposing the thing to factor here is that we have a tracked vehicle, with a mounted weapon on the turret, and there's a gun crew. So there are two gun crews over there, one the main gun crew and one who supports him in the event that he is killed. And then there is the 4 elements who will be dismounting and going for the recce and surveillance part. And there, of course, there's one more person might be there, or will be there, to conduct radio operations, secure radio communications, if at all necessary. It's a different situation when the actual combat is going on. Of course, the element will be there to wire back, to radio back the location of the target for effective targeting. But here I'm not considering the situation. Here I'm saying like it's a non-combat situation where they go in for passive surveillance and recce, which Indians usually do. Now here what we have to find out is that certain factors, certain things will factor in. Before the mission starts, we must be prepared with the intelligence preparation of the battlefield. Here also we need to do an IPB of the terrain, the climate. We need inputs about the way the enemy had been sighted previously in previous recce missions. It's very important to keep that in perspective. We don't do that actually. इसके पहले हम कहाँ गए थे, कहाँ enemy से मुठभेड़ हुआ था. If we keep all that record, we can know that where and when they can be. We can have we need to know every damn thing about this intelligence preparation of the battlefield. The point is, we need to know the terrain very well, where we are going, whom we might encounter, the enemy possibility, so we can be prepared for it. Then there is the tracked vehicle's own weight, because the heavier vehicle we take, the less mobility, and and for higher mobility, we need a less armored vehicle, and that gives us less armor protection. Again, here you gotta think, you gotta have intelligence about the weaponry systems. The weapons capability of the enemy in those areas, so that we can know that to what extent we have to use armored vehicles to prevent from getting the armor pierced. So we need to have a ballistics information also. We need to have the information about the weaponry systems, very important. That's one thing. Then it goes with the crew matter too. We need to have 2 gun crews. If one gets killed, the other will handle the weapon. In the case there's a situation of combat, in case we have to engage the enemy, there's no other way out. Then there are more factors to be considered. The people we have for the actual mission, the recce and the surveillance mission. Now what if the 4 people get down for recce and surveillance and they go deep inside this armored tracked vehicle is down there, and then suddenly both these guys get killed, this gun crew. So what is the point is we have to leave one guy behind for that eventuality, and then 3 go in for the recce mission. So यहाँ पे क्या होता है? 1 man is reduced. The strength is reduced. So you have to plan accordingly. You have to plan accordingly an optimum number of people with us. Then there are other factors to be considered, like this dismounting and the mounting capability. A rapid dismount is very important, so that you can move in very fast, get the information. A rapid, the tractability of the particular vehicle, how it maneuvers the terrain, and for that you need information on the terrain also. It's very important to have a very high mobility of the vehicle. But again, here we have got a trade-off between the weight of the machine, weight of the vehicle, and its mobility capacity. The heavier, less mobile. The lighter, more mobile. The lighter, less armor protection. Heavier, more armor protection. Then it happens that sometimes you got to go deep and you cannot take the vehicle down there. You got to walk or go on foot. So there has to be good, secure radio communications also that is not intercepted by the SIGINT of the enemy, because there has to be a radio connection between the team out there and this particular tractor vehicle down there, which may also act as a sort of headquarters. So these factors are there: the needs, capability, mission analysis. First of all, we define the mission very clearly. What is the mission? What are the objectives? हमारे हाथ में क्या क्या है? What are the weaponry systems? What delivery facility we have? Delivery of the men down in the terrain, the tracked vehicle, and then how are the men trained in that situation? Whether they know how to observe. There are different skills of observations. There are sometimes there is cases of blind spots. Then there are cases of how to observe distant objects, and how objects appear in the moonlight. They might appear different than they appear in other light conditions. There are many things to be observed in observation. There are touched in another discourse, how to go for surveillance. But point here is the mission needs to be clearly, very, very clearly stated, and then the needs of the commander stated. Mission may, of course, we may have many requirements. It's not necessary that all requirements be satisfied with the assets in hand. Not only the assets in hand, the particular environmental conditions, the terrain, the presence of the enemy, and the night conditions, the visibility conditions at night, and the intelligence preparation of the battlefield is a very important part, be it a real battle, be it in recce surveillance, even be it during an intelligence endeavor, or even be in a coin operation in the jungle, wherever it is, or in case of force protection. IPV is exceptionally important. So we define the mission, we define the prioritized requirements of the commander, and then we see exactly what needs can be satisfied. Out of the prioritized requirements, we have to negate those requirements which cannot be satisfied with assets in hand. It gets reduced to a few, and then to satisfy them, we have to take into consideration the capabilities we have of the vehicle, the weaponry systems, the faculties of the men, the medical conditions. ये सब लेके we have to execute a mission needs capabilities analysis for any operation. In that event, we are prepared for the unknown. अभी घटना ये है that this thing can be extrapolated not only to a recce mission, it can be extrapolated to even a intelligence endeavor, a counter endeavor. It can be extended to a counter-insurgency operation. It can be extended to virtually any military operation. The mission needs capabilities analysis. And if you come to basic intelligence collection management, then this is very important. It takes prime importance, because in requirements management, collection management, asset management, these three things, this entire thing revolves around this particular mission needs capabilities analysis. ये होता है. There might be multiple units engaged in an operation, engage in operations in a wide area of operation. Now, one particular unit can be involved in this particular area, say A1, far off in A2, and again in A3, this way. Now, if you have horizontal communication between them, like you have vertical communication with the regional headquarters, then what happens? The surveillance assets we have in hand, say aerial surveillance assets. Well, what all assets we have in hand? We have human assets, we have aerial surveillance assets, then we have, SIGINT assets. Kuch bhi ho, the commander has these assets at his disposal, the commander of the entire area of operations involving all these units. Now he has to decide very carefully kisko kya allocate kiya jayega. Now, supposing my unit's commander, the CO, one of the units of all the units in that area of operations, he has a fixed set of prioritized requirements, intelligence requirements. But before he embarks on that to send his collection assets, be it aerial or human or whatever it is, उसको देखना पड़ेगा कि उसके, on the horizontal level, it is not his work, it is a staff officer of the overall operation. He has to find out that किसको कितना assets हम दे सकेंगे for surveillance के लिए or for intelligence collection के लिए. That is the management of assets. So there's requirements management, there's collection management, there's assets management, and both of these constitute a collection management. So commander requirements कुछ भी हो, he cannot satisfy all of them if his assets are limited, because हो सकता है कि जो assets उसे चाहिए कोई खबर लेने के लिए, information लेने के लिए, that is being employed by another unit somewhere else and is not available. This is where ISR synchronization comes into play. Intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, synchronization. The optimum mix of assets deployment, so that every unit can at least satisfy, the most important of the prioritized requirements list. It is not possible for everyone to satisfy all his commander to satisfy all his requirements. It is not exact. It is not possible. And then in case of non-linear distributed battle space where things are unfolding extremely rapidly in a very high tempo, like in a battle where things are very uncertain, every single movement, it becomes much more difficult, very, very difficult. And here again, tactical operation centers, which I have touched in earlier discourse, very, very important, TOCs spread throughout the battlefield. Again and again I say the importance of TOCs are very important. Whatever it is, वो आप बाद में बात करेंगे. Main बात तो ये है that we have to have a proper collection management system in place for any intelligence and collection endeavor. A proper collection management. And for that we have to have a proper requirements management and a proper asset management system. We have a priority requirement, we can break that down into specific requirements. For example, we have a requirement to find out कि यहाँ पे what is the disposition of the enemy troops. We can break that down into specific requirements. It is not possible to just go and get the information in one go. We have to break it into smaller portions, SIRs, and then focus on those SIRs. One team focuses on that aspect. Other aspect is there in a holistic view, we get the entire picture of the main requirement about the disposition of the troops of the enemy. Any int requirement can be broken down into subsets. Any int requirement broken down into subsets. Suppose we have to find out a very simple requirement is it's an important requirement for the in a coordinate environment, that which particular route did the enemy take. Now the thing, which route did the enemy take, over here we can have aerial surveillance. We can also break it down into, instead of focusing right on the places where the enemy has visited. We can even break it down into with the smallest SIR to find out whether the undergrowth has been disturbed, whether the enemy has passed, his feet must have disturbed the undergrowth. I'm speaking on a very simple note, that even such a small SIR can lead to finding out about the enemy. In the case of force protection also, when a convoy moves towards a destination, there is a terrain analysis, a full terrain analysis. During terrain analysis, we need intelligence, not information. We need intelligence, rather, I should say, because raw information processed gives us intelligence. So if you get raw information about a terrain, kahan pe kya hillocks hai, kahan pe kya hai, kahan pe there's a mound, or where there's a depression in the terrain. Now these places are very good for ambush, for emplacement of weapon systems, and even for this profiling of the particular terrain. But this raw information comes in if they're analyzed, and their analyzed very carefully, then this leads to us intelligence information, which can give us how these areas, how these particular profiles, depressions, mounds, hillocks, can be used against us, and from a tactical perspective. So we see that we need intelligence information about the terrain. So we need intelligence information about the human terrain, the local population. But again, I am straying away from the main topic. That's not the topic of this particular discourse. My topic was mission, needs and capabilities analysis. From mission, needs, capability analysis, I forayed into the domain of collection management, because they're interrelated. When we send in the special operation forces and we find out that they get beheaded by the Pakistanis, that again is mistake from the perspective of mission needs capabilities analysis. Had we initial good information about the battle space, I should say the battle space only, because even if we move in the darkness when there's no war situation to get information about the enemy, or a SOF team goes in to conduct some sabotage or some other operations, whatever it may be, it's a explosive situation equivalent to a battle. So here again, if we had information beforehand about kahan pe kya shatru ho sakta hai, pehle kahan pe hamla hua tha, which are the places they are more prone to attacks, where there have been beheadings previously, or more important than that is the SOF team going in, we have to give them clear and concise instructions of the prioritized requirements by the commander. And for that, they must know the entire terrain profile, even in the darkness. They should know where they are going. And what are the capacities, and then in the event of capture, what are the ways to evade capture? We have stun guns, STU and GU and stun guns. We have some small pepper sprays. Now these things are not standard military items. These are the American police are using this. But point is, even the stun gun, a basic stun gun on a simple pepper spray, if the SOF man is armed with, that can save his life, where he cannot use his assault rifle or his other weapons. कभी-कभी ये सब चीजें, proof lifesavers. A stun gun can incapacitate your even if 2 or 3 persons hold you, because if you touch them with a stun gun and press and the spark moves in, You are not electrocuted, but they are electrocuted, even if you are holding them. A pepper spray in the darkness can work wonders. A strong pepper spray can work wonders. If you are assaulted by 2 or 3 Pakistani Rangers or any terrorists, a pepper spray can work wonders in a fraction of a second. All of them, their mucous membrane, their faces, they all like burning sensation. They're down on the ground. Asphyxiation starts. They can't breathe. So the point is that even the SOF team which moves in should be aware of its capabilities. It's what do you call it? It's about the mission, about the constraints in the hand, about the enemy. You should have a clear picture. वो कहाँ जा रहा है, क्या कर रहा है. It is not that okay, bhai, you people have to go in, you got to do that meet objective and come back and bam, bam, bam. If there's anything happens, you just blow it out with your weapons across the enemy, but come back. It's not that. It is not a simple case of a firefight in the event of engaging the enemy before the mission objectives are attained. It is important to be prepared every point of time right up to the mission, right up to the objective, for every uncertain event which might evolve, for any unknown situation which might evolve. And mind you, in battle, the element of uncertainty is highest. The element of unknown is highest. You've got to be prepared for that. Whatever it is, you need to have a needs, mission, capabilities analysis. Say I have a human team. Now, there's a task organization. Supposing the requirement is that the enemy prisoner of wars and I need to extract information from them. Now, if it is more human-intensive activity, then in my combined team, which I should call a tactical human team, I'll have 3 human personnel and I'll have 1 counter personnel. जहाँ पे सिर्फ collection of information is required from the enemy prisoner of wars, then the human people are sufficient for that and a counter man will be there. But if it is pure interrogation-based or an exploitation-based process, then there will be 1 human person, 2 human persons and 3 CI persons. Another could be a mobile interrogation team, because when battle is going on like anything, escorting the EPW back to the rear and then handing them to the interrogation center, it takes time. And the aftershock, like after the EPW has been arrested, the enemy, the prisoner of war has been arrested, has been detained, arrested, whatever it is. Right after the arrest, he's in a state of shock, and there is the prime time to interrogate him and take out information. Because as the time moves ahead, as more time is taken to bring him down to the rear, and he gets time, then he can prepare stories. He can tune himself, inure himself to surroundings, and then he'll be less coming out with information. You cannot extract much more information from him than you can after he's been arrested. So we need mobile interrogation teams at the point of arrest. And for MIT, we need to have a combination of human and CI as well as military police people. The MP people will be there for screening them, a rapid screening to evaluate whether this man is, to find out whether he can, just an idea. वो कहाँ से आया है, इसका rank कितना, he might know this much information, इसका rank, they can ascertain the rank, or whatever it is, a behavioral attitude, like an officer has his own attitude, a Jawan has his own attitude. What the MP screens very fast, hands him over the human team, the human conducts further screening, which तरीका खबर निकाल लेता है by whatever the captured documents, the document exploitation is there, any equipment or any weapons exploitation is there, and then he makes a tagged list about the insignia, about the unit or whatever it is, by his whatever identity can be discerned, his language, वो पहले कहाँ था, कहाँ से आ रहा है, क्यों यहाँ पे आ रहा है, who was his previous unit commander, so what was his regiment, ये सब निकालने के बाद and he's handed over to the counter. If the human man thinks that this guy has information or counter value, is given to counter person of the tactical human team, and the CI guy interrogates him on the spot interrogation, and they combine that with tactical questioning. So the mobile interrogation team, right at the forward line of own troops, No, I shouldn't say forward line of own troops. Right, say right at the forward area. जितना निकालना है वो निकाल लेते हैं information, and then these people are escorted back to the rear for further interrogation. Again, here a mission needs capability analysis is important. We have an optimal mix of the mobile interrogation team so that we can handle any sort of EPW combination. Then there are EPWs, there are refugees, the detainees, then there are people, the suspects, the locals. You have to segregate them, you have to screen them. Yes, सब काम है. But whatever it is, again I'll tell you, in any case, whether be it any military tactical operation, we need to have a mission, needs and capabilities analysis, a thorough study of the assets in hand, be it weapons, be it our SOF teams का, उन लोग को जो, the system they carry around with them, the weapons, their vehicles, their other assets, or be it a recce team, or be it a mobile interrogation team, or be it a team conducting cordon search operations in, say, in a jungle or in a village, or even psychological operations, or for any operation, a mission needs capabilities analysis is very, very important. Thank you.